and welcome to our 24 option trading platform review, brought to you by Roy from Online Options Trading. This video is actually part of a full 24 option review on our website. Feel free to visit there and read the full review. So when I first came across 24 options platform, actually I thought that it's not much to look at, to be honest. They use a platform made by Tech Financial, which is completely different from usual spot option platform, which I'd say around 80% of the binary options world uses today, including some of the larger brokers like Any Option, for example. So, well, the first thing you notice when you log into 24 option is that the platform is really dark. This is actually their trademark colors. It's black and gold, so that's basically what you get on the website. Another thing you'll notice is that the main screen doesn't have any graphs. Usually binary options platforms, they have anywhere between 1 and 6 graphs of different assets, constantly updating and adding a lot of color to the screen. Well, not on 24 option. So despite my initial impression after trading a bit with 24 option, I've actually come to the conclusion that the trading platform is really good. What you get in the main screen is actually what you really need in order to trade. So okay, enough about the intro. Let's get into the actual review. Okay, so now let's start with the standard binary options, the high-low. 24 options for some reason call the standard call put options, they call it high-low. I don't know why they do it, that's just the way it is. Anyway, the main screen you find a full list of all the options that you can trade. It's all very well organized. And with the current strike price, which they call target price for some reason, what payout you'll get for each asset, and if it's expiring very soon, then you also get a nice little countdown in the status column. So I personally prefer trading stocks, since that's more or less my background. I do a little bit of forex and indices when there's some big market news, but on that day, but generally I stick to stocks. So if you want to trade stocks, you simply click on the stocks button, and just reorganizes everything, shows you all the stocks that are currently available for trading. If there's something that's not available, it'll tell you when you can, for instance, European stocks. So this is actually really nice. You don't have to go through millions of different pages to find different stocks, different assets. You have everything in one page, and it's very easy to navigate. Actually, the fact that there aren't any graphs in the main screen, it makes it much easier to find what you want to trade, and the interface is very responsive. So if you actually have a number of assets that you prefer trading regularly and you want to only focus on them, you can actually configure all your settings, choose what you want. For instance, I'm taking all the stocks that they have available. I'll take a few of the more interesting asset indices, and some of the more interesting forexes. So once you choose your favorites, you just save and apply. Now you've got your own favorite list of assets here ready for trading. This is actually really nice, and I enjoy trading like this. So now if you want to trade something, let's take the almighty Apple. You finally get the long-awaited graph of the asset. It's not colorful or anything, but it's very accurate, and it's very responsive, which is basically what you want from a trading platform. The chart goes back around 40 minutes, or it can go back the whole day, depending on the type of expiry you choose. So now in order to put in a trade, you simply click in the amount that you want to trade. The minimum is $24 for the standard trades. For the short ones, for 60-second trading, it's $5 if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, since I don't really trade 60 seconds. Just not my cup of tea. Now just choose high low depending on what you do. This graph is not very easy to determine, since it's got a nice downtrend. So I'm gonna choose low, which is basically a put option. They have a maximum trade size of about $50,000, which is crazy. I don't know who'd be crazy enough to buy a 50,000 option, but I guess, you know, it's a good option to have. It also shows a bit about the stability of 24Option, that they can afford to take a $50,000 bid. That's it's pretty impressive. Now the refresh rate of the graph is also really good. It refreshes constantly. Remember, this is a web-based platform, it's not a live feed, so you can't get by the millisecond refreshing, but still the refresh rate is very good. Let's just do it, say buy. Now as I said before, I'm a stock trader by nature, so I have access to live level 2 trading feed, which is accurate by the millisecond. So let's take a few seconds just to compare the two feeds. Here we have down here, this is the latest graph. Let's make it more similar to what we have over here. That's nice. And here we've got level 2, a level 2 feed showing us exactly what the bid and ask is for Apple right now. Now, as you can see, the market price is always more or less the average of the bid and the ask. It's not necessarily the last purchase price, because that would give us a really large spread and the graph would just go crazy, and it's really not fair. But if you take a look, the market price really does indicate the average of the level 2 every time it refreshes, which I think is really impressive. It's very accurate. So back to the trading tools. So all the full and 24Option trading tools, you have a regular one and you have a high yield one, which is generally just a riskier one. For high-low we have above below. Here you basically have a target price, and you need to predict whether the stock is going to, or the forex or the asset is going to expire above or below the given target price. Like I said, it's riskier because you have to decide. You don't just need to decide if it's going to go up or down. You need to say it's going to go above a certain level. But that's also why the rewards are much higher. It's between 220 and 360%, which is, you know, it's a high risk, high reward. Next off, we have one touch. Here they basically define a certain target price, either above or below, and you buy an option as to whether or not the asset is going to touch that price even only once by the expiration. It doesn't need to be above that by expiry. It just needs to touch it once. It's enough. It can touch it and just go way down, and as long as it touched, you're good and you're in the money. If it doesn't touch, then you're out of the money. Again, this is high risk, but you get a very good reward. Now, generally, spot option platforms, they only offer one touch as a weekend. You can buy them on the weekend, and then you have the whole week for it to touch. 24Option offer it as an intraday option, which is really nice to have. Boundary. This simply means that you need to choose whether the asset's going to expire inside or outside the given boundary that they set up over here. Again, you've got the standard one and you've got the high yield one, where I guess the high yield one just gives you a wider boundary, which makes it harder to achieve, but that also means that you'll get higher rewards, again 200 to 350%. Short-term options, they're your classic speed trading options. 24Option recently added 2 minute and 5 minute speed trading. I personally don't like it, as I feel it's more of a gamble. I know there are a lot of traders that do like it, so I guess it's a good feature to have, whether you want to do it or not. The good thing about this is that you can also put in a lower trade size. Again, maximum is also going to 10,000 instead of 50,000. But here the minimum is $5. So that's it for the 24Option platform. As you can see, once you familiarize yourself with it, it's really pretty good and intuitive. It's also really responsive.